Oh, again, I thought I'd give you a little taste of one of my rants and rambles. Electric cars. Do you want one? No. Here in southern Ontario, we've got a cold climate in the winter. Nobody's gonna deny batteries drain. They lose energy just sitting. Now, I'm not gonna quote a bunch of statistics and get into arguing stats, but it's a fact. They dissipate energy just sitting there. The colder it gets, the faster that curve on loss is. Think of your car having a hole in the gas tank. It's leaking energy all the time. When it's not charging, it's losing energy. And the colder it gets, the bigger that hole in your gas tank is, the more energy you're losing. Doesn't matter how we generate it as a society, nuclear, natural gas. We lose 50% of it in transmission. Just going down the lines, 50% of it's lost because we don't insulate the lines. So, is it green to start with? No. And then I was Googling something somewhere. I didn't get into it at length, but somehow or another, when you plug it in, when you charge it, when you're filling your electric gas tank, only 80% of the energy that comes out of your pocket goes into the car as a true charge. So that's 20 cents on every dollar. 20% on any potential green factor. Let's cut to the end. Then I'll kind of come back to the middle. You're in a fender bender in an urban accident. 3-4 cars smash up, bounced around this way. One's upside down. That's you. You've got, 3,000 pounds of battery dripping down on some limb you've become attached to over the years. You're screaming your face off. The bystanders, as much as they want to come and help you, hopefully, they're not going to, because it's going to become common knowledge. Those cars make enough energy to kill you. Think about your repair bills. The guy's got to put linesman's gloves on to work on it. He's not risking a skinned knuckle or even getting his hair permed. He's risking death. So, good luck with that. The emergency response guys, they're going to know about this potential risks too. So what's your local fire department going to have, like one suit? Meanwhile you're lying in there being eroded, corroded, and possibly electrocuted to boot. And, and then when they do manage to get all that cleaned up, they've run lithium, this type of battery, into sodium, cadmium, there'll be a couple of lead batteries in there just for make the mix good and toxic. And what's your local fire department going to do? Throw some kitty litter down and pave over that hole in the ground? I don't know. If somebody gave me one, I'd sell it. I don't want to be upside down in one of those things. The batteries. Part of the example, let's say, nickel. There's nickel in them all. It's mined in Sudbury here in Ontario. It's shipped to Ireland. There's some processing going on there. Goes to some former Russian state where they don't care if their peasants glow in the dark. Let's process some more. Then it goes to Japan, where it's made into a battery. Gets shipped over here to us in the car. Excuse me, it's cold out here today. And then the battery has a limited lifespan. Nobody can argue that. Manufacturers may claim whatever they claim, but it's inarguable. It is a perishable good. There's no money in recycling them, and nobody's even trying to claim there will be. There's too little precious metals and too much toxic waste in there. So I don't know what we're going to do with them all. Pile them up in Omaha or something, North Dakota, I don't know. You're probably going to have to pay to dispose of them once You know, our brilliant politicians realize there's going to be vast numbers of these things, and they're hazardous waste. That day will come. Think about this. ECUs, electronic control units. They're all the little electric brains. We used to call them the black box, you know. Our vehicles are petroleum vehicles, conventional vehicles, internally combusted, you know, gasoline, diesel engines. We can't make reliable ECUs for them. It's the bane of any mechanic, these ECU issues. Here comes a truck rumbling by. I'll just talk a little louder for a minute. We can't make ECUs that work for the technology that we've been using for 100 years or more. Now we think we can make them to manage electric vehicles. Worse yet, think about a hybrid vehicle. Now you're marrying two technologies, a whole bunch more of ECUs trying to talk to each other. One fouls up, miscommunication problems. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Again, what's your repair bill going to be on these things? You're going to have specially trained technicians. They're going to want big bucks because, again, they're risking getting fried working on the thing. You know, to you fellow backyarders out there, don't be opening the hood and poking around with a multimeter and a screwdriver out of curiosity. No, don't be doing that. And your average mechanic is not interested in these, is not going to be interested in these. So at best, your techs are going to be young guys who've taken specialty courses from the manufacturers, I suppose. It's going to create a whole new industry. I guess the day will come when these techs will have these things figured out, but they'll be brand specific. Who works on your Tesla isn't going to work on your Chevy Volt or whatever the case may be. And where do they think the energy is going to come from? Our grid, our electrical grid, it's taxed now. You know, I could have put together some figures. For example, my roommate commutes 40 minutes one way each day to and from Mississauga. I was going to get him to, you know, say, hey John, how many liters of fuel do you burn? Convert that into kilojoules, watts, whatever form of electrical energy. And then say, well, you know, okay, if 10% of the vehicles in the greater Toronto area, the GTA, were to switch to hydro tomorrow, does anybody really think the grid could support it? Okay, everybody's up in arms. You can all comment. Perhaps somebody who's got OCD can do those figures for us. The stats aren't crucial, it's the overview. I think you can see where I'm coming from. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. Just saw today our Canadian government, its infinite wisdom. What is it? They're building 54 charging stations at Canadian Tires. Like Canadian Tire, they got lots of money. They're doing just fine. Putting them at Canadian Tire's in the parking lot so people can go in and shop at Canadian Tire while their car's charging. Sounds like a backroom deal to me, eh? What do you think? The old boys club at work again. And again, it's us, the taxpayers, the working peasants, who's paying to build those stations. Excuse me. Oh, so many issues. So many issues. Tax breaks on them. That's just coming out of my pocket. Have we dropped those? Are we going to reinstate them? I hope not. I hate to see an electric vehicle whizzing down the road. I don't believe that thing's green. You're not going to convince me it is. And I don't think my tax money should have gone for a tax concession for those things. What is their thinking? How do they see this is going to work? I don't know. I really don't. Oh, I think that's it. Enough rambling about the electric cars. I don't see an upside. I only see downsides. Again, here in southern Ontario with winter, not a chance. You leave that thing plugged in outside at, it's going to be 17, 20 below tonight. You leave it plugged in outside on a 110 charging system, or perhaps at your work, it won't even break even. You'll just be pouring that 110 into it and it's running right out onto the ground. 220, it'll probably break even. You pretty much got to have them in a heated garage on a 220 charger that you've paid to have installed, and to charge that car overnight on the 220 in the garage that you're paying for to heat, and you're losing 20% of your fill right off the bat. That's enough energy, and again, I could put the stats together for you, but I'm not going to. That's enough energy to run your house. And I mean, I'm talking 6 kids in the washing machine, dryers hammering night and day. That's what it costs. That's how much energy it takes to charge that car. Travel distance when it's cold, whoa, cut that down to a fraction. And I mean a small fraction. The electric car advocates say, well, you dress warm. I don't have my electric jacket on today, but well, you still got to clear the windows, so what are you going to get out of that thing? 25% at best? Excuse me. So these charging stations, how many cars do they charge? How long does it take to charge them? It takes hours. Minimum of 4, perhaps 2 if it's just a top up. What do you do with that time? I mean, it's okay if you can do it at home. It's okay if you can do it at home and work, because you're probably going to need them both. You want to take an 8-hour drive, well, you're not going to make it 8 hours in the winter. So they don't fill up while you stop and have lunch. I've seen YouTubes where the guy's charging his car, another guy comes along, how long are you going to be? Calculator out, about 3 hours and 40 minutes more. Oh, what's the guy do? Leave us, how's that work? Hear stories about people going to the airport, they come back, the car's dead. You can't boost it, it gets towed. So is there an upside to them? Not that I can see. I can't see as how they're green from start through operation through finishing. Well, I mean, disposing of the batteries. What's the life expectancy of a lot of these other components, your ECUs and stuff? I just can't see it. I really can't. And resale value, well, at the moment it's negligible. Nobody wants them. And here in southern Ontario, we've got salt and liquid calcite they put on the roads. I don't know if that's quite the right name for it. That's a lot of catalysts and a lot of corrosives, and I can't see these electric cars not suffering for it. I mean, all the ECUs, anti-lock brakes, all this stuff we have in our conventional cars, it's not doing them well. I can't see them working. And again, hybrids to mix 2 units of power, 2 technologies, try to marry those together. Whoa, good luck with that. So, where would an electric car work? I don't know. Arizona, maybe. Sure not going to fly here in Canada. So, that's an example of a rant and ramble of mine on, in this case, electric cars. Wait till I get talking about politicians. They're not going to like me. Thanks. See you soon.